Hey guys, today I'll be showing you tips and tricks I learned along the way getting from silver to plat. One thing I learned is to not repeat the same head height after missing shots. If you look in this clip, I missed my shots and then stood up while the other guy didn't, and it was an easy pre-fire for me to get the kill. Alright, so if you look here in this freeze frame, this dot comes in again crouching, but if he had stood up, I would have just body shot him and there's a good chance I wouldn't have killed him. So another thing that's important is not to sprint. Like, if you look at this Jaeger right here, this Jaeger just tried to sprint away from me, and he just died because I was there waiting for him. If you get pinged or you get jackal tracked while you're roaming, don't sprint away. Because odds are that somebody's right there waiting for you to come right into them, and that's not going to end well for you. So whenever you get jackal tracked or something like that, try to think where he is and you peek him. Don't run away. Try not to sprint a lot unless you know you're safe for sure. Another thing that's important is operator choice. You got to make sure you're picking the right operators to do the right thing. Like if you're picking a vigil, you got to make sure you're roaming. If you're picking a rook, you're going to want to be in sight. Because like these operators are built for different things. And like playing a vigil in sight like this guy just doesn't work that well. Vigil's gun isn't really meant for anchoring. He's supposed to be out there on roam and doing stuff. So another thing I want to touch upon is not to attack and defend the same way. So like when you're on attack, you lose a round, you win a round. You win a round against the defending team. You don't want to run the same thing. You run a thermite, you hard breach a wall. You maybe run thermite, hard breach a different wall. Because when they defend the same site, they're going to be ready for what you're going to do to them. And almost the same thing goes for defense. When you see a defending team defending something very, very hard, like for example Chalet, main garage, if you see a team really anchoring down in main garage, then you should know that they're going to push main garage because they like to defend things that they attack well. So one small thing that I find people to overlook a lot is gadget selection operators. So for example, Maestro's got impact grenades and barbed wire. And I like to run barbed wire on Maestro because Maestro already has a bailiff. And that makes rotation hills just like impacts do. But you don't really need the impacts if you have the bailiff. So you can just run the barbed wire and get better use out of your utility. And not to mention, if you have someone like a smoke on your team, you really don't need the impacts because that smoke can make good rotation hills. And you can just get better use out of that barbed wire. Also, when you die, it's also really important to just go right on the cams. You gotta get straight on the cams. You gotta get right on the drones. You gotta be doing stuff that helps your team. Don't yell. What happens? What I see a lot, like with my friends who are lower ranks and stuff, like they just yell. Like after they die, they yell. They literally give me like, "Oh, that was a headshot." Like that does not help you at all. That doesn't help your team. That doesn't help you. There's no point. Another thing that's important is not to peek when you're low on time, especially on defense. Like you've got those 25 seconds left. Like I've got here a smoke, 25 seconds. I just gotta stay alive. It's a 3v2. They've got to come in and plant. They have to plant by that 0 second mark, or they have to kill all of us. Obviously, gonna go for the plant. So I just gotta not peek. If I peek, I give them the chance to kill me. But here, look at me. I'm just covering myself. I'm making sure I stay alive. I force them in. I hear the Zofia planting to my right. That's easy kill. I gotta call it. Hibana's on my left. Easy kill. Like you just gotta know when to peek and when not to peek. Make sure you save your drones in prep phase because like this Jaeger who dies right here, he only died because we had a flank drone up. So what you gotta do is like you gotta set up a flank drone, and then once you die or maybe you just have someone waiting there, you plan it and you make sure you don't ping. You don't ping. You don't scan. You don't do anything. You just call out to your teammate where the guy is, and then they have no idea. You go in there and there's easy kill. Because a lot of people like to roam in this rank, and they don't roam that well. They just kind of run around and then they come behind and flank, and those are really easy kills to get. So one thing that I see a lot of lower ranked players or just newer players, lower ranked silvers, is I see that these lower ranked players, you guys, you don't have that many specific callouts. So like this right here, this is classical hall. Most players just call this 90, but classical hall, that's classical hall. This is classical hall. Over here is this is all classical hall. And what's important is to get like map specific callouts. So while this is all 90, this right here we like to call square because you know there's a square here. But you can say okay, there's a guy in square, there's a thermite in square. You know thermite in square is gonna breach this wall in the hunting wall. And just these specific callouts can help you a lot. Like you say, like we call this here right here books. So you call there's a guy in books. This guy behind bar, if he really wants to, he can come out. He can just shoot this guy, easy kill. And like if you call it, there's a guy in 90 at the top of main stairs that takes longer. The guy might be confused, but just getting these specific callouts helps you get your kills. And another thing we've got here, this default plant. We like to call it default plant on every map because you know where everyone is. It's just simple. It's quick. And you let someone's planting too, which is an important call to make. This is default plant because there's this hard vault door right here. People like to plant here because you're safe. You get a guy just watching like this. Another thing that's really important is if you've got like bad teammates or something, you gotta refrag them. So here in a second you'll see you just pretend there's a teammate in front of me, he gets sprayed down. I run right into the site and I just kill the guy who killed him because I know where he is from the bullet trail. It's an easy kill because he's not gonna expect it. Alright, so here's another clip actually of the scrims that me and my friends did. And he was just one of my friends dies and I just pop out of the door and just refrag the guy right away. This is actually the match winning clip, so it just goes to show how useful refragging can be.
Nice, boys. What a wrap up. What a wrap.
Let's go!
So also what's important about like being able to push and attack effectively, defend effectively, is knowing which way you need to lean. So obviously it's going to be different for console players because you guys have to be scoped into lean. But what you want to do is like, let's say I want to check to see if anyone's at that door right there. So I'm sitting here in break room. I want to see if someone's there. I can't come in like this and peek because this is just, I'm exposing myself. See, I sit here and I'm leaned right. But if I lean left, I have so much vision. Like I can see all the way through there just if I hit the right lean button. So you can kind of play around with this. So instead of aiming neutral and going like this, and I have a little sliver, I can lean left and I can see all this. So it's important to come in rooms leaning the right way. And I see a lot of people, like one of my friends I saw yesterday, I think, there was a guy in this corner. He knew there was a guy, well, not this map specifically, but it was just like this. There's a guy there, and he came in, leaned right, and he like had to shoot like this, and he died because of it, because he just didn't have that time to kill him, and it's just like an awkward position coming in like this. Alright, here's just a quick clip I wanted to show that where I just droned in one of my friends during a scrim. I kept my drone alive, I droned in, I told him where to go, and it's easy kill. You gotta make sure you do that because it's like the easiest kills you ever get. Because it takes too long for you to drone someone and then push him. So you want to drone someone and have your teammate push him. You see him? He stood back from it, he stood back from it. Even free fire left.
Oh.
Nice. Alright, so there's anything you want to take from this video, I want it to be make your map specific callouts and make sure you drone effectively. Those two things are maybe the most important things that can help you get from that silver gold right into that plat. That's what got me to plat, and I'm hoping it can get you guys to plat too.